start this third hour on the show. Before that, you heard a request from Pauline who says it's pretty quiet tonight at the shout box. And probably because most of the people who chat on Jam's official website are at the Sucker Punch advanced screening happening this very minute. I believe the movie started at 7:30. So, yeah, I can't go because I'm here every night. So that sucks, but so long as you guys get a chance to go, right? So I believe we've got more movies coming out for advanced screening tickets, so make sure you keep locked in for that. But of course, we have that Wombat song, which now actually went down 3 notches from number 1 last week. It's now down to number 3, Jump Into the Fog. So if you like that song, make sure you vote for it for Jam's hit list and get it back to the top of the list. Good evening, you've got Roanna. This is the final hour of the Daily Stew. Please like the Daily Stew on Facebook. I'm actually posting the details of my talk points right now on the Facebook page. Just in case you missed the first hour or the second hour of the show, you can at least get up to speed with what we were talking about today from the beginning all the way to the end. So if you have got a comment or messages that you'd like to share, go ahead and do that. Please do. Send your message to 2948. The format is Jam88.3 space and text in your message. You can also join the shout boxers at jam883.fm or give me a call at 631-8803. Thanks to a texter, by the way, who says, loves the topic, by the way, so X-Files. Well, I'm glad that you do. We've got 4 more on our list today as we talk about mysteries around ancient aliens. And of course, segments such as It's Like Fucking Austria, The Exchange, Glaze Life Guide, and Clip of the Day still coming right up.
Dream phone ko, madali pan-text, may kasama pang pan-text.
Clear. Series of 2011.
Join the Pond's Clear Solution Syscode Soap Swap. Just swap your 20 grams bar bath soap in participating SM or National Bookstore branches and get a Pond's facial wash worth 30 pesos free. Visit www.ponds.com.ph or like us on Facebook to learn more. Hurry! Promo runs from March 18 to May 15, 2011 only. Per FDA permit number 0149, series of 2011.
Anthem American Slang sent over through the text line for a request, who also suggested that Pondtree should join me. Well, I haven't spoken to him in a while, but I'll bring it up. So we are now down to 2 more on ancient aliens. By the way, speaking of which, of flying objects, I've got somebody who's requesting for a flying EP song. Unfortunately, I don't have that on my playlist for this particular day. I'm sorry, but make sure that you catch Republic, because all our OPM tracks are played back to back, straight 12 full hours every Saturday. This happens from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So at number 2 on today's topic on ancient aliens is The Miracle of the Sun. Now, starting in May of 1917, something happened to 3 shepherd children in the town of Fatima, Portugal. The events have become known as Our Lady of Fatima. I'm pretty sure that you've heard of this. Now, starting on May 1, 1917, the children began to describe seeing a woman brighter than the sun, shedding rays of light clearer and stronger than a crystal ball pierced by the burning rays of the sun. Now, the being was reported to have appeared to the children on the 13th day of 6 consecutive months in 1917, starting on May 13. According to 10-year-old Lucia Santo, in the course of her encounters, the woman confided to the children 3 secrets, now known as the 3 Secrets of Fatima. Thousands of people flocked to Fatima and Al-Justrel for months, drawn by reports of visions and miracles. On 3 separate occasions before the miracle of the sun, the children reported that the lady had promised to them that she would, on October 13, 1917, reveal her identity and provide a miracle so that all may believe. On October 13, 1917, the miracle of the sun was witnessed and reported by 50,000 to 100,000 people in the Cova de Ira fields near Fatima, Portugal. So the people in attendance had assembled to observe the publicized event. And according to many statements, after a downfall of rain, the dark clouds broke and the sun appeared as an opaque spinning disc in the sky. It was said to be significantly duller than normal, and the cast multicolored lights across the Earth. Now, the people in the surrounding clouds basically seemed opaque. The sun was then reported to have careened towards the Earth in a zigzag pattern. It was said that the people's previously wet clothes became suddenly and completely dry, as well as the wet and muddy ground that had been previously soaked because of the rain. According to the reports, the event lasted approximately 10 minutes. That's pretty long for something like this. Now, I want to find out what the 3 secrets of the children that they found out during that day of the apparition. Then stick around as we continue on the Ancient Aliens theory here on The Daily Stew.
The Daily Stew presents It's Like Fucking Austria.
Today's town is found as Wisconsin, and guess what it's called? Spread Eagle. Named after a sexual position, Spread Eagle is an unincorporated community in Florence County, in the town of Florence in the U.S. in the state of Wisconsin. Now, the lake chain was named Spread Eagle because, when seen from the sky, the chain resembles an eagle with wings spread. So, the Spread Eagle Barren State Natural Area is also located nearby. Now, this has been the noted residents of this town. Famed American voiceover artist Ken Nordin, who was Linda Blair's voice coach for The Exorcist, the very first Exorcist, maintains an occasional residence in Spread Eagle. Now, while not a resident, the famed Albert Einstein was a guest of the residence of the chain on several occasions. There you go. For today's town, it is Spread Eagle in Wisconsin. Catch more of these crazy named towns only here on The Daily Stew on Jam88.3.
Honestly, my honesty was always what I gave for taking your breath.
The miracle of the sun, which was marked by a large amount of angel hair over the land. Now, on July 13, 1917, the lady is said to have entrusted the children with 3 secrets. Now, these secrets have been highly controversial in the Catholic Church and have been revealed to the public at different time periods, with the final one coming out in 2000. Now, the first secret was allegedly a vision of hell. The second secret was a statement that World War I would end, and goes on to predict World War II. The second half of the secret includes information about Russia and requests that it become consecrated to the Immaculate Heart. It should be noted that the second secret wasn't revealed until 1941. That's more than a decade after this happened, and after World War II had already begun. The majority of the controversy is with the third secret, and it was revealed just in 2000, and it includes information about the persecution of Christians in the 20th century that culminated in the failed assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. However, historical references to the third secret indicate something else entirely, with information regarding apocalypse, a great apostasy, and satanic infiltration of the Catholic Church. Now, if you are unfamiliar, apostasy is the formal disaffiliation from or abandonment of a religion by a person, basically criticism of a person's former religion. Now, in 1980, John Paul II was quoted on the third secret. He said, "It should be sufficient for all Christians to know this much. If there is a message, it is said that the oceans will flood entire sections of the earth, and from one moment to the other, millions of people will perish." Pretty scary thought, especially since we just had that Japan tsunami incident happen Friday. So this is something that kind of falls in together, and which is why I decided to feature this particular topic for today. Just something to wake up the mind on a Monday, right when usually all our minds go dead because it's time to get back to work. So hopefully you're enjoying the topic. In the meantime, got another segment for you.
You are about to hear The Exchange.
안녕하세요. My name is Jung-yin. I'm from Korea. To call your boyfriend or girlfriend sweetheart, you say 아인. 아인. To say cute is 귀여워. 귀여워. That is it for Korean class today. By the way, if the Philippines is called Guer of the Pacific, the jewel of the Pacific. In Japan is the rand of the rising sun. Korea is known as the rand of the morning calm. Okay, I'll go now. My name is Jongye from Korea. 안녕히 계세요. Jam88.3, that is Get On Your Boots by U2. And getting back to our topic of conversation for today on ancient aliens. Now, Val Camonica, Italy, is one of the largest valleys of the Central Alps in eastern Lombardy. It is the location of a set of ancient paintings that are believed to depict forgotten deities. Now, the pictures resemble modern-day astronauts despite being painted around 10,000 BC, which makes you wonder. Although there is a resemblance to a spacesuit, which leads us to the Solway Firth spaceman photograph. Once again, I have posted this on the Daily Stew page on one of the albums if you want to check it out yourself, or you can go on ahead and search Wikipedia and type in Solway Firth. It'll tell you on there all the details of what I'm about to say. Now, on May 23, 1964, Jim Templeton, a firefighter from Carlisle, Cumberland, took 3 photos of his 5-year-old daughter while on a day trip to Burgh Marsh, situated near Burgh by Sands and overlooking the Solway Firth in Cumbria, England. Now, the only other people reported on the marshes that day were a couple of old ladies, and although cows and sheep would have been normally plentiful, they were huddled together at the far end of the marsh. Now, in the second image captured by Templeton of his daughter, a white figure can be seen in what looks like a spacesuit. Templeton insists that he did not see the figure until after his photographs were developed, and analysts at Kodak confirmed that the photograph was genuine. To this day, the picture remains unexplained and a source of international fascination. When the picture was taken in 1964, human spacesuits were there in their extreme infancy. They hadn't yet been invented yet. It has been suggested that some people, that the figure is merely someone with their back to the camera, perhaps wearing a hat or a helmet, but check it out for yourself, and that way you can really see that it's definitely not just somebody wearing a hat or a helmet. Search for Solway Firth on Wikipedia to see the actual photograph. Now, you can also go to the Daily Stew's Facebook to see a complete list of today's ancient aliens. I gave you top 10 for today. So, a few weeks later, Jim Templeton, the guy who took the photo, received 2 mysterious visitors. Now, he had never heard of MIBs, Men in Black. The subject was almost unknown in Britain during that time, but the 2 men came to his house in a large Jaguar car, wore dark suits, and otherwise looked normal. The weird thing about them was their behavior. They only referred to one another by numbers and asked the most unusual questions as they drove Jim out to the marshes. They wanted to know in minute detail about the weather on the day of the photograph, the activities of local bird life, and odd things like that. And then they try to make him admit that he had just photographed an ordinary man walking past. Now, Jim responded politely, but nevertheless rejected their idea, at which they became irrationally angry and hustled themselves into the car, driving off and leaving him. The fire officer had to hike 5 miles across country to get home. Now, in the same time frame that picture was taken, a Blue Streak missile launch at the Woomera test range using Cumbrian-built weaponry was aborted because of 2 large men who were witnessed on the firing range. And the technicians reported that the figures resembled a Solway Firth spaceman. Ufologists have used the photograph as evidence that extraterrestrial life has influenced the modern-day space program, including spacesuits. And that brings us to number 1 on Ancient Aliens, the Solway Firth spaceman. Thanks to Listverse, where I got today's topic from. I hope you enjoyed today's info on the mysteries of life, and that is really what makes life interesting, doesn't it? It would be just boring if we knew everything there is to know in the world.
The Daily Stew presents Life Guide. Don't swim without one.
All right, we all like drinking soda. So how do you keep the spirit and fizz from your open bottle of soda last? Well, after opening a bottle of soda, just keep it in your fridge upside down. You see, gas rises and escapes ever so minutely from the sealed cap. So put your 2-liter or whatever 1.5-liter bottle in the fridge upside down. The cap below, no gas can possibly escape. And even a month later, the bottle well, you'll still probably get all the spirit in there. So go on ahead and check it out. Try it out for yourself if you love soda anyway. Well, right now I'm going to play for you a clip of the day, and this is from a woman who gets prank called by her husband through a radio show. And really, it's her birthday, so they're just trying to, get on her nerves by pretending that the boss is calling her to let her know that her husband has just been fired. So she gets really ticked off and starts admitting things that she has done, not knowing that it was all just a prank. So here it is. Check it out. The Daily Stew presents Clip of the Day.
Personnel director here at your husband's work.
Oh, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, and how are you?
Fine.
Lois, are you sitting down?
Yes?
Well, I have some bad news.
What do you mean bad news? Bob's okay, isn't he?
Well, actually, that's why I called to talk to you. It's about Bob, and I know that he's been an employee here for a very long time, but I'm afraid we're going to have to let Bob go.
What do you mean? Wait, that's not very fair. He's been very loyal to you.
Look, I can understand you feeling that way.
Feeling that way? You don't understand. We just had a baby.
No, I understand that.
This is a very hard time to do this kind of a thing.
Yes, it is, but Bob has kind of forced our hand on this.
Why are you firing him?
We caught him doing his secretary on his office desk.
I don't believe this.
He's on his way home right now, and he's going to need your support.
I'm going to change the locks on the door. I'm throwing his outside on the front lawn. He can just have it all. I'm not even going to be here when he gets back. And now, I don't feel so bad about his brother.
Lois.
It's a joke. Your husband put us up. It's your birthday. Happy birthday!
The Daily Stew presents Clip of the Day. Oh no. Yeah, so that's what happens when you prank call people sometimes, and especially your loved ones. You'll never know what truth will come out because of that. Well, you know what? It's about time for me to head on out of here. Thank you to all of you listening right now, whether you're on the road, at home, off the shout box, texting. Thank you so much. Catch the Daily Stew tomorrow once again. Get served for another episode of the show. Same time, 6 to 9 p.m. with me, Roanna. High Times with Mike is coming up next to keep you company until that stroke of midnight. My name is Roanna, your host for the Daily Stew. Got to go, get some sleep, and wake up at 4 a.m. for my 5 a.m. daily classes teaching conversational English to Koreans. Yippee-doo-dah. The life I lead. Saying farewell now with a track from Muse. This actually was used at the closing credits of Tron, which I just watched last weekend. Starlight, you're on Jam88.3, the station that gets the hits first.